So I don't plan on making this video too long. Y'all can see the title. The reason why it affects me so much is because, as it would anybody else, it depends on how long you've been together with your spouse. It depends on, the core memories, but not even the core memories, the connections you make with other people through your spouse, meeting their parents, having their parents meet, her. It's just been a thing to where it's like, I'm not going to get into the specifics on what happened and, all that. I'm just going to say it's been a rough journey, basically. And I guess what made this cut very clear after being together for 2 years was, okay, the whole thing with our dynamic, and then me giving her a test. Like a test, sometimes you have to do a temperature check. And what that means in relationships is you have to sort of kind of drop your communication in order to see what the spouse will do. To see, like, if their loyalty still lies. You know what I'm saying? If they would stand on their word without you having to say anything. So basically, this is about her ex that I met. And she's like, okay, what I'm saying? One thing you never want to do is you never want to be cool with anybody hanging out with their ex. But for me, that was a big mistake I made, 5 months ago with meeting him. Okay, I think he's a cool person. I still don't want him hanging out one-on-one. This, that, and the third, yada, yada. So our dynamic gets to a point to where it's like, yeah, like based on the things that happened in the past, our dynamic is a little wonky, but we're still going to respect each other's, wishes and, respect one another in general. So I'm not going to my ex talking to her. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should be doing that either. So whole thing goes by. She wants to hang out with them at the water park. Now already hanging out at the water park, even though it sounds very small, once again, I still am not the kind of guy that's gonna say, yeah, go hang with your ex. But then she's saying the day it comes up, because she tells me in advance 3 days before it happens, the day it comes up, now it's, oh, we might go to the water park and then go to his house. So in my head, I'm already like, okay, she's a lost cause. You know what I'm saying? She wants to go over his house. And you know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that is a huge boundary for me. So I'm like, okay. All I said was okay. And it was to test her and see if she would ask me if I'm comfortable with that, if I condone that. But no, there was no, are you comfortable with it? There was no, do you condone it? And throughout the whole entire day, I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to pretend like I didn't care, but it did get to me. We're human beings. Shit like that gets to us, you know what I'm saying? I didn't eat all day. I was outside just kind of like pondering on the fact that, okay, I don't want to believe she's cheating, but at the same time, like, I can't sit here and be too sure. And you still are going over your ex's house. So I call her, I said, fuck it. Called her up, I said, yo, I feel uncomfortable with you hanging out with your ex. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. She's debating. So based on the fact that she's debating, she's basically choosing her ex over you. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure I told my story not to like dump my business out there, but a lot of people go through the same situations without even realizing it. So I'm sure there's people out there who have the same dynamic in the relationship too, to where they cheat on you and it's hard to go away, and you're doing all this, like, trying to see if your emotions are still there, and it's not, but it's hard to break up because you don't want to be lonely. Totally get that shit, bro. But the fact about my relationship is my spouse is a liar. You know what I'm saying? She tends to lie. I'm not gonna say who it is, but like, wish her the best of luck. But she didn't have any urgency to get up until I said, okay, you know what? I think you're a lost cause, so I'm gonna say my goodbyes. But since I know your mother a lot, and your mother respects both of us, and she loves who I am, I'm just gonna tell her, goodbye, farewell. And this is what your daughter's doing, and this is what happened. Now, since she has something to lose, now she wants to get up and beg, and now she wants to do things, talk about, I'll do anything. No. And I had to tell her, I'm like, stop making a fool of yourself. I'm not that kind of guy that's doing this for revenge. I'm doing it because me and your mom know each other, and your mom loves having me around the house. You know what I'm saying? And she sees cool with me being with you, regardless if we're boyfriend or girlfriend or not. You know what I'm saying? So I respect her enough to let her know what's happening. And now it's a thing to where she wants to get out of this house. And now it's a thing to where she, is begging me and listening to my feelings. And all this to say, bro, the spouse that I'm talking about right now, we've been together for 2 years. We've been through thick and thin, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's safe when it comes to, oh, this person's a good person, so they never do me wrong. Nobody is safe, and I just learned that yesterday. Nobody is safe, and you cannot change anybody. You can improve them, but like they can take what you taught them and go to somebody else anytime. But that's my take on this whole relationship thing. I don't plan to edit too heavy into it, but I do realize that I want to stay more consistent with doing YouTube videos. But I love a woman who just there right for you without having to see what you got, without having to see, what you can buy her. Not saying that she's that kind of woman, but for a long time I've been living a lie. You know what I'm saying? And of course he's a changed person and yada yada yada, but there's still shit that I look at and I'm like, okay, it's contradictory to your changed character. You can't sit here and say you're changed when you're still lying to your parents about your ex. That shit is just uncalled for. On top of that, you're choosing your ex. You're choosing to stay at your ex's house over what I gotta say and what I feel towards you. So it's like, at that point, you gotta let go. And you gotta say, even though I care about this person so much, like, you know what I'm saying, I wish the best of luck for them. And just go find somebody else. I'm not saying just find someone to sleep with. What you wanna do is you wanna learn. As a man, you wanna learn from your mistake with being with that specific person in that time period. So you can say, okay, next time I know what to do. Next time I know what to look out for, and so I won't have to fall into that hole again. Or if I get cheated on, I'll know what to do instead of just lingering around because I love her so much. That's one thing. That's one regret that I had because it's been 2 years. I'm in college, mind you. It's been 2 years, and I realized that my freshman and sophomore year, I was pathetic as fuck. I would let any disrespect just get over me, and like it's gotten to the point where it's like, bro, I look back at it, a lot of shit that I realized I didn't have to go through, and I'm like, what the fuck was I tolerating this for? And I'm like, okay, only reason why I tolerated that is because I didn't want to be lonely. Not saying it's an excuse, I'm saying in that time period, and even yesterday, because yesterday I was trying to make it seem as if, like, you know what I'm saying, I didn't eat. This would be a good time to just, watch the podcast, watch them Speak Easy. Shout out Speak Easy if y'all don't know them. Check them out on Patreon, Burleezy. You know what I'm saying? Joe Wyko and PG, but that's besides the point. But while watching that podcast and eating, it's like, okay, I can't sit here and pretend anymore. Like, I had to stop eating. I had to stop watching TV, and that was my first time ever having an anxiety attack because I didn't want her being with anybody else that was any worse than me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I still don't. That jealousy still gets to me today, even if the situation happened yesterday. But yeah, man. I just hope that I get blessed with a woman that's gonna appreciate me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's us being lonely. Like, that shit sucks, especially if you don't have any friends. That's one of the reasons why it was hard for me to break up. Because okay, if I break up, the support I have from her right now will no longer be here. And you know what I'm saying? I don't have friends like that can just support me. And it's not gonna be anybody else that's gonna want, me for who I am. This generation is fucking crazy, bro. Every woman is out to sleep with the next nigga. That's for a whole different video. I'm gonna leave this video right here. This is Kev Talks segment. So a lot of stuff right here is gonna be more personal instead of just for entertainment. So if you are finding benefits and finding closure within these talks, just be sure to comment down below what you want to see next, whether it be a reaction video or gaming, or comment down your thoughts and your opinions. I'm trying to build a community, speaking about relatable topics, so to push myself out there more. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you comment down below, subscribe, and like the video. Push it out some more. We're trying to get to 1K before October, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. Love y'all. Peace.